So how does rock buried deep beneath the earth become a bar of pure gold? Let's go inside and follow the entire journey, from mine to refined metal. But through crushing, grinding, separation, and extreme heat, that hidden gold is slowly transformed into pure metal. It starts with something that looks almost worthless, ordinary rock hiding tiny traces of gold. Deep beneath the earth, tiny traces of gold are locked inside millions of tons of rock. But how does that rock become pure, valuable metal? It all begins here, where massive excavators tear into the earth and uncover gold-bearing rock hidden beneath the surface. Each bucket can carry tons of material, feeding the first stage of a journey that will transform ordinary-looking rock into precious gold. Once extracted, the ore begins its long journey from the mine toward the processing plant. Inside this enormous facility, a carefully controlled sequence of machines will separate gold from everything surrounding it. Before processing begins, every truckload is weighed and recorded, establishing exactly how much material has entered the operation. The massive load is dumped into a receiving hopper, where the first major transformation begins. These enormous crushers break the rock apart, reducing massive chunks into smaller pieces that can be processed further. Now crushed, the ore travels continuously along conveyor belts toward the next stage of the process. A second crushing stage reduces the fragments even further, creating a more consistent feed for the grinding circuit. Vibrating screens now separate the particles by size, sending properly sized material forward while larger pieces are returned. Anything too large is automatically redirected back to the crushers, keeping the entire circuit efficient. Meanwhile, correctly sized ore continues deeper into the plant, where the real separation process is about to begin. At the heart of this stage are massive grinding mills, designed to turn hard rock into extremely fine material. Crushed ore enters the mill with controlled amounts of water, creating the slurry needed for the next stages. Inside the mill, intense mechanical action breaks the minerals down until the gold-bearing material becomes incredibly fine. The result is a dense mineral slurry, now flowing through pipelines towards specialized separation equipment. Powerful pumps keep this heavy mixture moving continuously through the processing circuit. Hydrocyclones use centrifugal forces to separate particles according to their size and density. As the slurry spins inside these vessels, different mineral particles are directed into separate streams. Gravity concentration takes over, using differences in density to collect the heavier gold-bearing minerals. Here, the valuable concentrate gathers while lighter unwanted material is carried away with the water. Spiral concentrators continue the separation, allowing gravity to pull dense gold-bearing particles away from lighter minerals. The resulting concentrate is now far richer in valuable material and ready for further treatment. Next, the concentrate enters a thickener, where dense mineral particles settle toward the bottom. Slow-moving mechanical rakes gather the thickened material and direct it toward the central discharge. Filtration removes even more water, transforming the concentrated slurry into dense mineral cakes. As the filter plates separate, these concentrated mineral cakes drop into collection hoppers below. Remaining moisture is removed using controlled industrial drying, preparing the concentrate for metal recovery. Now dry and highly concentrated, the material contains a much greater proportion of the valuable minerals. Small samples are carefully collected so the concentration can be measured before the next stage begins. In the laboratory, these samples undergo detailed preparation before their exact composition can be analyzed. Grinding the sample into a fine powder ensures the laboratory receives a representative material for testing. Advanced analytical instruments now determine how much gold and other elements are present in the concentrate. These results help confirm whether the material meets the required conditions for further processing. Once approved, the concentrated material is transferred into the controlled metallurgical recovery circuit. Automated feeders carefully regulate how much concentrate enters the recovery process at any moment. Now the objective changes. Instead of crushing rock, the process focuses on recovering the valuable metal itself. Large processing tanks combine the concentrate with carefully controlled process fluids under constant circulation. Powerful agitators keep the material moving, ensuring the entire mixture remains evenly processed. Precisely controlled reagents are introduced to help separate gold from the remaining mineral material. As processing continues, gold moves into the recovery solution while unwanted solids remain behind. The treated mixture is then separated into solid residue and a gold-bearing liquid stream. Before recovery, the valuable solution is clarified to remove suspended particles that could interfere with the next stage. Fine filtration removes the remaining particles, producing a cleaner solution ready for metal recovery. This gold-bearing solution is temporarily held in controlled process tanks before entering the recovery system. From here, pumps and valves direct the solution towards specialized equipment designed to recover the dissolved gold. Inside the recovery cell, the dissolved metal begins collecting onto specially controlled recovery surfaces. Little by little, valuable gold accumulates as a dense metallic deposit. Once enough material has collected, workers carefully remove the gold-rich deposit for further treatment. The recovered material is gathered in secure containers, ready for cleaning and final concentration. Washing removes remaining processing residues and unwanted material from the recovered gold-rich concentrate. Controlled water flow separates residual impurities while the heavier valuable material remains concentrated. What emerges now looks dramatically different from the rock that entered the mine. Before melting, the concentrate receives final preparation to remove remaining moisture and unwanted material. Controlled heat drives off residual moisture, leaving a dry concentrate ready for the furnace. The dry material is now ready for one of the most dramatic stages of the entire journey. Inside the melting area, a high-temperature furnace is prepared to transform the concentrated material into molten metal. The gold-rich concentrate is carefully loaded into a heat-resistant crucible designed for extreme temperatures. As the furnace temperature rises, the solid material begins its transformation into liquid metal. Under extreme heat, the concentrated material melts, revealing a brilliant pool of glowing metal. The molten mixture becomes increasingly uniform as remaining non-metallic material separates during heating. Unwanted slag rises to the surface and is carefully removed, leaving cleaner molten metal behind. Now the molten metal is ready to leave the furnace and enter the casting stage. A powerful lifting system raises the crucible, carrying the glowing metal toward the prepared molds. Suspended above the casting area, the crucible moves slowly and precisely into position. Below it, heavy-duty molds wait to give the molten metal its final bar shape. The crucible tilts, and a brilliant stream of molten metal flows into the waiting molds. As the molds fill, the glowing liquid settles into the familiar rectangular form of a gold bar. Controlled cooling begins, gradually transforming the intensely hot metal into solid bars. Once solidified, the newly formed bars are carefully lifted from their molds. Surface cleaning removes remaining casting residue and reveals the bright metallic finish underneath. Every bar is then carefully inspected for surface imperfections before it can move forward. Precision weighing confirms the exact mass of each finished bar. Advanced measurement equipment checks the bar's dimensions to ensure they meet strict specifications. Automated scanners examine the surface for defects that might not be visible to the naked eye. Purity testing provides another critical answer. Exactly how much of this metal is actually gold? In the laboratory, advanced instruments analyze the finished metal down to its elemental composition. Only bars that pass the required quality checks are approved for final handling and secure storage. Robotic handling systems carefully move the approved bars without damaging their precisely finished surfaces. A final cleaning stage gives the bars their clean, polished appearance before secure storage. Under controlled lighting, the finished surface reveals the distinctive reflective appearance of refined gold. Finished bars are arranged precisely in secure handling trays, ready for their final inspection. From here, the finished gold enters a highly controlled security environment designed for valuable metal. Security systems perform additional checks before the bars are placed into protected storage. Inside the secure vault, finished gold bars are organized in carefully controlled storage compartments. Inventory checks ensure every bar is accounted for and handled according to strict security procedures. Automated storage equipment can move individual bars with remarkable precision inside the secure facility. When required, the system retrieves selected bars, and delivers them to the verification area. Before leaving secure storage, each retrieved bar receives another careful verification. A final weight check confirms that the finished bar remains within its required specification. Another surface inspection ensures the bar remains clean, intact, and ready for secure distribution. Now the finished gold moves into a specialized packaging area designed for high-value products. Each bar is placed inside protective security packaging to safeguard it during transportation. The package is sealed, creating a secure barrier around the finished gold product. Automated inspection systems check the sealed package before it leaves the controlled production area. Approved packages travel through the secure facility toward final dispatch. Before shipping, workers perform one last physical verification of every prepared package. Reinforced transport containers are prepared to protect the valuable cargo during its journey. Sealed gold packages are carefully loaded into the reinforced containers for secure transportation. Once loaded, the container is securely closed and prepared for controlled dispatch. The finished product now waits inside a secure logistics warehouse, ready for its next destination. Electric forklifts carefully move the protected containers toward the loading dock. At the dock, every movement is coordinated as the valuable cargo approaches its transport vehicle. The secured container is carefully loaded, completing the final logistics stage inside the facility. Before departure, the vehicle and cargo undergo a final security inspection. The transport vehicle leaves the facility, carrying the finished product toward its next destination. From above, the entire operation reveals just how much infrastructure is required to turn ore into refined gold. Crushers, mills, tanks, pipelines, recovery systems, furnaces, and inspection equipment all work together as one enormous process. Step by step, ordinary-looking rock has been transformed through crushing, concentration, recovery, melting, and refining. And at the end of that extraordinary journey stands the finished gold bar. Up close, its polished surface reflects the precision and complexity hidden behind its simple appearance. Each finished bar represents an enormous chain of mining, processing, testing, and controlled manufacturing. Stored securely, these bars are now ready for their next stage beyond the processing facility. One final inspection confirms that the finished product meets the required standards before release. From the first blast in the mine to the final inspection, every stage has played a critical role. What began as ordinary-looking rock has now become a highly refined and valuable metal. Protected, inspected, and securely packaged, the finished gold is ready to leave the facility. It is easy to see the value of a gold bar, but the real story is everything it took to create it. From rock buried deep underground to refined gold, this is the incredible journey behind the metal. If you enjoyed seeing how real industrial processes work, subscribe to the channel for more fascinating factory documentaries and stay with us for the next transformation.